We've reached the time for our Connexin panel, joined by Charlotte Taylor, the Executive Assistant, Huzi Patel, the IoT Solution Architect, Nick Wells, the Strategic Solutions Architect of East Riding of Yorkshire Council, try getting that on a business card, and Fairquan Alangia, Founder and CEO of Connexin. Can we have a round of applause for our panel, please?
Oh, ow.
Thank you.
God, okay, good.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, whether it be in person or virtually. So there's lots and lots of exciting things happening in the IoT space currently within the Humber region. We've got Nick, Huzi and Fakan here to talk to us all about it. Hello guys. So could we just start with giving us a sort of a brief introduction into yourselves and what it is that you do?
Yeah, I'll start off. So I'm Huzi Patel, IoT Solutions Architect at Connexin. I mainly design and implement IoT solutions, whether that's in smart cities, smart waste, smart utilities, various verticals. So my role involves essentially taking an idea from a very early stage, just a little inkling, and then making it into something more real, fleshing it out, choosing the technologies, the hardware, the software, essentially putting it all together, making a case for it, and then actually implementing that as well, and then seeing through the implementation, the delivery, and then once it's been delivered, actually delivering support on that as well. So that's kind of a brief summary of what I do.
Brilliant, thank you. Nick?
Hi, I'm Nick Wells. I'm a Strategic Solution Architect with East Riding of Yorkshire Council. I work within our digital change and technology team within our service there. So pretty much looking at systems and solutions and infrastructure and connectivity that's used by the entirety of our organisation. We're a large employee in the area. We've got a number of staff. They all use different solutions, and it's ensuring that we maximise value from our investments. So my role in particular is about designing those systems that are used across all of our services.
Brilliant, thank you. Fakan, you've been here before.
Yes,
shared the stage many times.
No, thank you very much.
Good to be back.
I'm Fakan, I'm the founder and CEO of Connexin. Work with Huzi and the team to drive our mission to simplify technology to connect the real world with the digital world to improve people's lives. So delighted to be here, part of Tech Week again, and hopefully supporting the region in driving new talent, technologies and products into the region.
Brilliant, thank you. People talk a lot about smart cities and communities, but what is a smart city community? Huzi, again, I'll come to you first.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously a lot of hype, and then you hear the word smart, and there's all these technologies around, a lot of buzzwords being thrown around, but I think at the heart of it, it's just doing things in a more efficient way, making the city work better for its people. There's obviously IoT sensors, there's infrastructure, there's all of that, but I feel like engaging the actual citizens themselves is really important as well. I mean, we're all here for Tech Week Humber. There's a lot of uni students here, a lot of enthusiasts, people who are into tech. I feel like if we can engage those people and actually get their minds working on making the city a better place, I think that's a truly smart city, is when the citizens start thinking of, how could we do this in a smarter way? So yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Nick?
Yeah, a little bit different for East Riding in that we don't have a city, within our region, but we do border the great city of Hull. And for us, East Riding Smart is really quite a new concept to us, and it's something that I'm developing a smart county strategy for us at the moment. So the scope of that is looking at how we can use smart to improve the lives of our residents, for the visitors that we get for our tourism industry, and also around the businesses that are based in our area as well. So we see that working across a number of different work streams, a high power connectivity that we can bring in terms of connected homes and premises, through to the low power, such as the IoT initiative. So early days for us, we're developing the strategy at the moment, and we're hoping to take that forward and really build on some of the great initiatives and use of technology in the area.
Amazing, thank you. Fakan?
I think the guys have answered it really well there. I think to me, a smart community city is a connected one. Technology is changing everything we're doing. If you look at how we're all working over Teams, etc. So I think understanding how we can better leverage these new tools to improve lives, it's all about that, isn't it? And the type of strategies that we've got at Connexin and what Nick's doing at East Riding about linking people together, getting more insight and information, and then leveraging that to invest in the right things to improve outcomes for people. I don't think a smart city is about technology. It's about enablement and using the right tools to do that.
Brilliant, thank you. What are you doing and seeing from a smart city perspective in your area, and how is that impacting or going to impact residents, businesses and education across the Humber? Jose, I'll come to you again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in that question. If you just start with citizens, for example, how's it going to impact citizens? So one of the smart city use cases is air quality. Air quality, poor air quality can be a killer. Causes lung disease, asthma, chronic respiratory issues. Obviously, we've got the transition to electric vehicles as well, towards 2030. And as we kind of go towards that, I think improving the air quality will be is quite big on the agenda. Obviously, measuring the air quality is a massive part of that. So it just lets decision makers make better decisions. If you can understand, well, in this area, air quality is quite poor. Maybe this road is better pedestrianised. Doesn't make sense to have a massive flow of traffic through this area. Maybe it'd be better in this area. That's directly impacting citizens' lives. There's other initiatives like open data portals and things like that, which allow kind of tech enthusiasts to really get their hands dirty, see the data that the city's generating, and come to their own conclusions from it. Because obviously, we'll analyze data, we'll have our own bias, and we'll see it in a certain way. But if you just make that data publicly available, anyone, any citizen with their various views, they can just look at the data and be like, this is what I think of the problem. And likewise for businesses. For example, if you've got footfall data, you're measuring that across the high street, any business across the high street can just go on an open data portal and see, well, what's the footfall like after COVID? And obviously with e-commerce and everything as well. So yeah, I think businesses can just be a lot better informed about what's going on. And then you've obviously got the service departments within local authorities themselves. So for example, like waste management, if you're using IoT sensors to measure fill levels of waste bins, you can optimize your routes, save massive amounts of carbon. So that's huge as well. You can get such massive efficiency improvements. So like in Hull, for example, if you've got bins that are like proper rural in the countryside and you're driving miles and miles just to pick up a couple of bins, if you have a sensor that says, well, actually, they're not going to get full for another 2 weeks, you can just save that journey, save a massive amount of carbon. So that's quite big as well. So yeah, it all kind of does depend on the use case itself. Then you can talk about the networks themselves, where there's innovation networks where hobbyists can kind of connect to them, build their own little use cases, little projects. That kind of spurs on innovation in the space as well. So there's a lot of interesting things going on in this space. I think it just depends who you are and what's most relevant to you.
Of course, super. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, I think I'll touch on digital connectivity first. So we've got a unique situation in the East Riding environment where we have areas of incredible connectivity for residents. So for the fibre network that's out there within the suburbs around Hull and even in our major towns is fantastic. We've got fibre, we've got high-speed connectivity for over 50% of our premises. But then we also have some more challenging areas, rural, remote villages that are in a rural environment, single or two or groups of 2 or 3 houses that are way out in the wolds that really do struggle with connectivity. So as a council, we've been running a broadband program for a few years now where we've done some interventions. We've had central government funding to support the rollout of networks into those areas and support that digital connectivity in those. It's almost the last 5% that we're onto now of those hard to reach areas. And we see some new technologies coming along with that. And I know the guys at Connexin are currently linking up some of the villages out in West Hull with a brand new Ciclu gigabit capable, amazing bit of kit that will help link up a number of broadband customers in villages that we have found very, very difficult to get fibre in the ground to because of the distances and the rurality of them. So for residents, we're seeing more and more connectivity to their homes, faster connectivity, and all of the services that you need to run your everyday life depends on that now, particularly through the pandemic and all of the home working that we've had. If I just move on to business next, I think for businesses within the area, again, over the next few years, through the Smart County strategy and through our colleagues in our economic development team, we'll see more of our digital corridors initiative come up, but particularly with the Humber port, the Freeport region that we've got, stretching, from Saltend and the renewables area in Hull, all the way down to Goole and the new Rail Innovation Business Centre that we've got. The ABB Ports area, we're going to see a whole area that really we as part of our Smart County strategy, and I can't say too much on that at the moment, but we really see that being a high power area and the potential for rolling out, a neutral host 5G network all the way along that corridor. And making that network open for anyone to use, so bit local businesses, but also supporting infrastructure companies such as Connexin to help us deploy that infrastructure and get people connected to it will be really good for visitors. And then finally for residents, we're looking at our coastal communities for visitors to the area. I've already said residents, but for visitors to the area, our coastal towns such as Bridlington and Hornsey, how we can use digital and technology to improve the visitor experience to those areas. So if you're coming to stay for a week in Bridlington at a caravan, you can easily get connected. If it's raining one day, your kids can all get on their iPads and be in the caravan watching the Netflix, no problems at all. But then for the rest of the week, you can quickly find out that there's events on at Brid Spa, there's the leisure centre you can go to, and you can just get connected and do what you need to do as a visitor to the area. Brilliant.
For Can, could you elaborate just a little bit and tell us about the kind of work that we're seeing across Connexin with customers in a sort of wider sense?
So say that last bit.
Sorry, if you could elaborate a little bit on the question as well and tell us a bit about the kind of work that Connexin are seeing with customers in a wider sense.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting from my perspective because I get to meet lots of leaders from other areas, not just kind of local government, but central government and then private sector as well. But like Nick said there, the ultimate enabler for everything is connectivity. So, the pandemic has shown you that, kids working from, schooling from home, some families only have one laptop and the internet connections aren't suitable enough to allow 4 to stream classes together. So there's some kind of base challenges that need solving to allow people to connect. And then I think the type of talent that you see around here, and you see some of the technologies, like there's a robot dog running around, they're very capable people in this space and in this room that can develop then the next stage of kind of outcomes and applications on top of that. So we see our role very much in the immediate as the enabler. So you've seen, if you follow us in the press, we've raised over 100 million. We're investing close to 80 of that into this region to build that infrastructure to allow people to have those advantages. I've seen you've already done some things because I'm an East Riding bin app user, and now I know which days to take which bin out on digitally rather than trying to put that thing on my fridge. So that's an easy win, isn't it? Such a simple thing to do right to enable people with that kind of simple tech, right? So from where we're sat, it's about connecting people, number one, investing in talent and good businesses to develop the next stage of applications, tools, and software on top, and ultimately doing the right thing to kind of improve lives, create a more sustainable future for us, and deliver value, really. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. What is the longer term vision in terms of utilising the technology, such as the Internet of Things, and how will this impact our lives? Huzzy, if you could maybe tell us about the trends that we're seeing from a Connexin point of view, what we're trying to help customers do in terms of bringing these visions to life.
Yeah. So what we're currently seeing, and in the short and near term, is again, it's about solving that immediate need of actually getting connectivity and getting the data that we need to be a bit smarter. So I feel like in the near term, it's all about getting connected, getting sensors or whatever data extractor you need wherever you need them at those sources of data. So that's kind of the near-term challenge. But then there's the question of, right, we've got the data in. What do we do with it? How do we actually get the insight from it? And that's going to be kind of the longer-term vision of, well, you can start off by visualizing it in the right way, looking at it in the right way. So speaking to subject matter experts, if you're looking at waste data, talking to waste people and seeing how they would interpret it. So that's quite big. And then obviously we hear a lot about AI and machine learning. That's obviously going to get massive, as we over the years build up these massive data sets. We start centralizing data, becomes readily available in one place in a data portal. If you look at the younger generation now, they're very comfortable at extracting open data from different portals and just quickly building a machine learning model from it, getting insights really quickly from it. So I feel like you'll see a lot more of that. The proliferation of data, you can already see it. If you go on any kind of Yorkshire Council website, getting more and more data sets as time goes along. So I think we're kind of enabling that by getting that data there in the first place. But in the longer term, I think the world's your oyster in terms of the insights you can get from the data, the use cases, the applications you can build from it. It just depends on what businesses and citizens actually want to do. So yeah, and I think with I think that's a more general thing. I think it all depends on the area itself as well. There's different challenges in different areas. I think that's quite an important point to add. Yeah.
Super, thank you. Nick?
Yeah, so for us, I think longer term within our Smart County strategy, we're focused on 5G and how 5G can bridge some of the gaps that we've got, particularly around rural connectivity. And we see the lower spectrum side of 5G, the 800 megahertz spectrum, as being a key enabler for that. We've also got, supporting our digital corridors approach along the Humber, the potential for using 5G for ultra-low loss frequency, ultra-low loss connectivity, use cases, around automated ports, etc., that could really support that manufacturing and logistics zone that we've got going on around that. And potentially some use cases as well around 5G in the corridor that we've got going up along the coast. So some of the events that we might have at, say, Bridlington Spa could lend themselves well to that. But we do see 5G as being another 5 to 10 years before it becomes the norm within our region. We're doing everything that we can to help accelerate that, and watch this space. We'll be doing a lot more over the next couple of years in there. But in the meantime, what we are looking at is how we fill that gap at the moment, and in particular within the Smart County strategy and early deployment around an IoT network within the region. So looking at how we can build out at the moment an IoT network on LoRaWAN, built on the things industries that we can use for our council-specific use cases, but a network that we can also make available to wider business use and to residents within the area as well through the Things network. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll be able to get that up and running soon for everyone in the region.
Brilliant, thank you. For Can, as you know, at Connexin, we're on a mission to simplify technology to connect the real world to the digital world to improve people's lives. Could you kind of fast forward a little bit further, let's say 2041, what does it look like?
Wow, that's really tough to do. But you can see the type of things that we're working on. Some of the things that we're working on are behind the scenes right now, really, really innovative stuff. We kind of have a skunk works within Connexin that's focused on health at the minute. And some of the innovations in that space are huge. So if you look at NHS waiting lists right now, for example, for basic outpatient care, they are almost in the years, and they're trying to find a solution for that. But actually there is technology that can read those notes and referrals and prioritize and focus on the ones. So we're doing a lot of work with kind of big data, how we can utilize that, read that, manage that to improve simple things. I was fortunate in my life that I got to experience having NHS function. and there's some real challenges there. So I think from our side, you know, we're doing a lot in digital infrastructure and building, you know, I guess the framework or the foundations for everything to connect together. But then on top of that, I think the next 40 years is all about what you do once that enablement's happened. I think last time we spoke here, you know, we talked about the Internet of People and the Internet of Things. Well, the Internet of People was people connecting to each other, putting websites together. But now when a heart monitor can tell you if someone's having an irregular rhythm, you know, well, great having that information, but the workforce is already overwhelmed. How do you generate an outcome or value from that? So you need to kind of work that next bit out. So I think everything we're doing now, you'll see big investment into software, data science, infrastructure, all of that's going to tie together. But I think, you know, the real big focus from our side is going to be on how we can connect people throughout their life cycles, from education into schools into then universities and health, and try and create a more horizontal, a kind of a smarter connected approach to doing things using one, data, and two, infrastructure.
Brilliant, thank you. Well, thank you so much, guys, for chatting with us today. Please do keep an eye out for Ben Percock, our headline speaker. He'll be on this main stage at 4:45. We are exhibiting in the corner at the back, so if you want to find anything else out about the things that we're doing, please come and see us in the corner. We'll be happy to chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you.